Hi everyone, I'm Zioxin from Susan's family. Today I'll teach you a design from the Botanical Sensations series, the SunBask Basket Bag, Rose Edition. This bag consists of 3 parts, the bag body, accessories, and decorations. The bag body includes the leather base. Section 1 and Section 2. The accessories include the drawstring, the small ball, D-ring, leather label, and strap. The decorations include the rose motif, leaves. Start by making the bag body, then attach the accessories, and finally make and sew on the decorations. We will start learning the crochet method for section 1 of the bag body. Let's take a look at the finished product. For section 1 of the bag body, you join the yarn on the bag bottom and crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The stitch techniques used include chain stitches, single crochets, slip stitches, front post double crochets, and back post double crochets. Below, please watch me demonstrate the specific crochet method. To make it easier for everyone to see clearly, I will demonstrate using cotton yarn. The colors are random. For specific yarn, color schemes, and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. Actually, section 1 of the bag body is crocheted by combining 2 single yarns into one group. In the following explanation of section 1 of the bag body, when I say 1 thread, it actually corresponds to one group of threads. This will not be repeated later. Take the yarn tail and make a slip knot like this. The short tail end can adjust the size of the loop. Hold the slip knot with your right hand. Wrap the tail around your left little finger once and pass it through between your middle finger and index finger. Then pinch the loop with your thumb and middle finger and pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. Join the yarn on the bag bottom and crochet the first round. Place the side of the bag bottom with the foot studs facing towards yourself. This side is the right side of the bag bottom. Insert the hook into any chain space and draw the slip knot loop over. Adjust its size so that the loop aligns with the edge of the bag bottom. There are no extra loops on the wrong side. Joining the yarn is completed. Then work 1 chain stitch. As the turning chain for single crochet, position the hook to the left of the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise around the hook and pull through the loop. 1 chain stitch is done. The turning chain for single crochet doesn't count as 1 stitch. Next, work a single crochet in the hole underneath. Insert the hook into the hole and place the yarn tail for joining above the hook to even ends. Yarn over, draw the yarn through, and pull it level with the edge of the bag bottom. There are 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again, and pull through all loops on your hook. 1 single crochet is completed. At the top right of the single crochet, there is a V shape formed by 2 yarns. This is the stitch of a single crochet. Continue to work another single crochet in the same hole. Insert the hook into the hole, yarn over, and draw the yarn through. Pull it level with the edge. Yarn over again, and draw through both loops on your hook. The second single crochet is completed. Work 1 more single crochet in this same hole. Then, in the next adjacent chain space on the left side, work 3 single crochets. Continue down, working 3 single crochets in each chain space according to the pattern, until you finish this round. When completed, Join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet, that is, the one on the left, which looks like a braid. Insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, draw the yarn through, and draw through all the loops on the hook once. The slip stitch is done. This chain here is the chain formed by the slip stitch. The joining slip stitch does not count as a stitch. You need to pull it tight. This ensures you don't accidentally add extra stitches later. The first round is complete. Move on to the second round. Start with one chain as your beginning chain. Then, in the single crochet below, work a back post double crochet. We'll call this the back post stitch from now on. Yarn over. Insert the hook from back to front through the stitch, and come out through the next stitch. Yarn over again, draw the yarn through. Now you'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. Now there are 2 loops remaining on your hook. Yarn over again, pull through these 2 loops. That completes one back post stitch. This stitch is perfectly aligned with the first single crochet from the previous round, directly above it. There's a V shape formed by 2 yarns at the top, right? This is its stitch. Work another back post double crochet. Yarn over. Insert the hook from back to front. Insert into the adjacent single crochet stitch on the left side. That is, the position where the crochet hook just exited. Exit again through the adjacent stitch. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. There are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull the yarn through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this step twice. 1, 2. The second back post double crochet is completed. Now work a front post double crochet. We'll simply call it a front post stitch from now on. Yarn over, insert the hook from front to back through the adjacent stitch on the left. Then come out of the adjacent stitch. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Yarn over again, pull the yarn through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this step twice. This front post double crochet is now complete. You can see that the crocheting method for the front post double crochet, it's identical to the back post stitch, only the direction of inserting the hook is different. Let's crochet one more front post double crochet. Yarn over, insert the hook from front to back through the adjacent stitch on the left. Then exit through the adjacent stitch. Yarn over again, draw the yarn through. Complete this stitch. Another front post double crochet is done. Continue to work 2 back post double crochets evenly. Then crochet 2 more front post double crochets. Let's take a look at the fabric piece. Treat these 2 back post stitches and the 2 front post stitches as one group of patterns. This round is about alternating crocheting this group of patterns. Continue crocheting following this pattern all the way down to complete the round. Once it's done, join with a slip stitch into the first stitch. Locate the first back post stitch. In its stitch above and to the right. Work one slip stitch. Insert your hook, yarn over, and draw through all loops on the hook. The slip stitch is complete. Tighten it. This completes the second round. You can see that the right side of the piece has a clear texture. The wrong side has a blurry texture. When crocheting the bag body moving forward, the right side should always face you. Now let's work on the third round. Start with one chain as your beginning chain. Work one front post double crochet into the back post stitch below. Yarn over. Insert the hook from front to back into the right side of this back post stitch. Note that what you insert into here is not a stitch. Come out on the left. Complete this stitch. This front post double crochet is completed. Then work one front post double crochet into the adjacent back post stitch on the left. Next, in the adjacent front post stitch on the left, work one back post double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook from back to front through the right side of this stitch. Come out on the left. Finish this stitch. When working front post stitches over back post double crochets, or back post stitches over front post double crochets, always pick up this stitch to work it. Instead of inserting into the stitch. I won't repeat the explanation. Continue with one back post double crochet. Then work two front post double crochets. And two back post double crochets. Let's take a look at the fabric piece. On the back post double crochet from the previous row, correspondingly make front post double crochets. On the front post double crochet, make back post double crochets. Repeat crocheting this group of stitches. Continue downward following this pattern. Finish crocheting this round. After completing, slip stitch join into the first stitch. Tighten. The third round is complete. The crochet method for the fourth round is identical to the third round. Make one chain as your beginning chain. Crochet two back post double crochets. Then crochet two front post double crochets. Continue downward according to the pattern of making back post double crochets on the front post double crochets, according to the pattern of matching front post stitches to the back post stitches. Finish crocheting this round. After completing, join with a slip stitch into the first stitch. Tighten the yarn. The 4th round is completed. For the next 5th round, you need to increase stitches. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Start with 2 front post double crochets. Then on the adjacent front post double crochet on the left side, crochet 2 back post double crochets. 1 stitch. 2 stitches. This way, you've added 1 stitch. Then on the adjacent front post double crochet on the left side, crochet 1 back post double crochet. For this group of stitches, you will have crocheted 3 back post double crochets. Follow this pattern, continue by crocheting front post double crochets into the back post double crochets from the previous round, and back post double crochets into the front post double crochets. Crochet all the way down until you finish 5 groups of the pattern. After completing, increase stitches in the next group. Start with 2 front post double crochets. Then on the adjacent front post double crochet on the left side, crochet 2 back post double crochets. Then on the next front post double crochet, crochet 1 back post double crochet. This group of stitches has increased by 1 stitch. Continue following the pattern for 5 groups of stitches. Take a look at the swatch. Every 5 groups of stitches, add 1 back post double crochet in the 6th group of stitches. Continue downward following this pattern. Complete this round. Then join with a slip stitch into the first stitch. Pull tight. Round 5 is now completed. A total of 4 back post double crochets have been added in this round. Continue to crochet round 6, chain 1 as the beginning chain. Crochet back post double crochets on the front post double crochets. And front post double crochets on the back post double crochets following the pattern. Pay attention to work 3 front post double crochets in the increase placement correspondingly. After completing, join with a slip stitch into the first stitch. Pull tight. Round 6 is now complete. Let me teach you how to count the rounds. You can see The texture of the front post double crochet protrudes like this, while the texture of the back post double crochet is indented like this. Start counting from the front post double crochet in round 2. And alternate counting these front post double crochet textures. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we have crocheted 6 rounds. The crochet method for the back body section 1 that comes next is relatively simple. Crochet a back post double crochet correspondingly above the front post double crochet. Crochet a front post double crochet correspondingly above the back post double crochet. Every 3 rows, add stitches on the 4th row. The increase method is to skip every 5 clusters and add 1 back post double crochet on the 6th cluster. Each increase placement must be staggered from the previous increase placement. Continue on your own until you reach the last 2 rounds of the bag body. Refer to the chart for the exact number of rounds. While crocheting, you can compare with the reference height of the finished product. If you haven't completed the corresponding number of rounds, but have already reached the reference height, you don't have to finish all the rounds. You can directly start crocheting the last 2 rounds. It doesn't matter if you miss adding stitches once. Moving forward, everyone follows this method and completes them while crocheting. If you run out of one ball of yarn, just pick up the new yarn. Leave about 10 centimeters for both yarn tails. Tie them together with a knot. Then continue crocheting as usual. Mind that the knot should not show on the right side of the fabric. Later, you can hide the yarn tails along the texture of the fabric, keeping them on the wrong side. I'll demonstrate using this small sample. The crochet method for the second to last round. This sample has fewer rounds and stitches, only demonstrating the technique. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. This counts as 1 double crochet stitch. It corresponds to the first stitch below. Let's take a look at the fabric piece. The 2 strands of each stitch. The one closer to you is called the front loop. The other one is called the back loop. Pick the front loop of the adjacent stitch on the left. Work 1 double crochet stitch. Match up stitch for stitch with the stitches below. Pick the front loop of the adjacent stitch. Work double crochets to complete this round. After completing, pick the 3rd chain from the starting chain. This creates a slip stitch join with 2 strands. The second to last round is now complete. Move on to work the final round. You can see below the previous round of double crochets. There is a row of back loops remaining. A small line segment is formed. Start with 1 chain as the beginning chain. On the foundation chain below, pick up the insertion point of the slip stitch. And the back loop of the corresponding stitch below. That is, this small line segment. Work 1 single crochet. Then pick the left stitch. and the small line segment below. Work 1 single crochet, the previous round of double crochets creates this texture. It has a raised texture that stands out. Work stitch by stitch for the next round, while picking up the adjacent stitch on the left, and the remaining small line segment below. Work a single crochet, complete this round. After finishing, join with a slip stitch into the first stitch. Tighten. Then, cut the yarn. Secure with 1 chain stitch. Leave a tail about 5 centimeters long and cut the yarn. The remaining yarn tail will be used for sewing on the D-ring and leather label, so it needs to be kept for now. Weave in the ends along the texture on the wrong side of the fabric. You can weave in a few more stitches, and then trim off the excess. That completes section 1 of the bag body. Next, we'll crochet section 2 of the bag body. Let's take a look at the finished product. Use the corresponding yarn to join on section 1 of the bag body. We'll be crocheting in rounds. Please watch as I demonstrate the exact crochet method. First, let's join the yarn. Take out the matching yarn. I'll continue to demonstrate with the thick yarn here. The color scheme is random. For more details, please refer to the product page or the paper instructions. Tie the yarn tail into a slip knot. Find the first stitch of the last round in section 1. Insert the hook into this stitch. Pull the slip knot through. Adjust the size of the loop a bit. Pay attention to the slip knot loop. Make sure it doesn't show on the right side of the piece. Joining the yarn is now complete. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. This should correspond to the stitch where the yarn was joined below. Chain 1 as a transition. Skip 1 stitch. Work 1 double crochet into the second stitch. Chain 1 as a transition again. Skip 1 stitch. Work 1 double crochet into the next stitch. Continue below, skipping 1 stitch each time. Work 1 double crochet between each double crochet stitches. Work 1 chain stitch for connection following this pattern until the last 3 stitches. Now we've reached this point. Chain 1 as a transition again. Skip 1 stitch, then work 1 double crochet. Then, on the third chain of the beginning chains, pick up these 2 strands and work 1 single crochet. The first round is now completed. Move on to the second round. Start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. Chain 1 for transition again. Skip the bottom beginning stitch. Work 1 double crochet in the left chain space. Chain 1 as a transition again. Work 1 double crochet in the next chain space. Continue working 1 double crochet correspondingly in each chain space below. Between each double crochet, work with the pattern of chaining 1 as a connection, until just before this last chain space. Now we've reached this point. Chain 1 as a transition. In the last chain space, work 1 double crochet. Then work 1 single crochet on the beginning stitch. The second round is complete. For the subsequent section 2 of the bag body, the crocheting method is identical to the second round. Work 1 double crochet in each chain space from the previous round. Between each double crochet, chain 1 as a connection. Finally, end with 1 single crochet on the beginning stitch. From here on, please follow the pattern on your own. Refer to the chart and crochet the corresponding number of rounds. In the last chain space, finish with 1 double crochet. Chain 1 for transition. Join with a slip stitch on the beginning stitch. Tighten. Fasten off normally. Weave in the ends on the wrong side of the piece. Section 2 of the bag body is now complete. Next, let's make the accessories. First, we will crochet the drawstring. There are 2 drawstrings, and each one is crocheted separately. Take the appropriate yarn. I'll continue demonstrating with the thicker yarn. The color scheme is random. Let's take a look. From the center of the yarn ball and the outside, there are 2 different ends. Here, take both of these ends and crochet them together. Take any one of the ends and make a slip knot. Hold the yarn with the left hand. Pick up the crochet hook with the right hand. Insert it into the slip knot. Adjust it slightly. Then, bring the other end up from below and hang it on the hook. Pay attention. Don't pull this end too tight. Yarn over and draw through these 2 loops. Continue to keep the yarn on the hook. Yarn over and draw through these 2 loops again. Then keep crocheting following this method. Crochet until you reach the desired length. After completing, leave both ends at 5 centimeters and cut them off. Pull out and tighten directly. The beginning and ending tails can be left untreated for now. A drawstring has been crocheted. Crochet another drawstring in the same way. The method is relatively simple. I will not repeat the demonstration. Next, attach the drawstring to the corresponding position of section 2 on the bag body. Take out the bag body. Locate the ending position of crocheting in section 2. From this position, count down 3 rounds of chain spaces correspondingly. Find the chain space in the 4th round from the end. Insert the drawstring through the corresponding hole. Exit from the adjacent hole on the left side. Insert it into the next hole. Continue in this way, passing through all the chain stitch spaces one by one. Finally, exit through an adjacent chain stitch space. The first drawstring is now attached. Next, attach the second drawstring. Locate the entry and exit points of the previous drawstring. Find a symmetrical position in the same round. You can check that both sides have the same number of chain stitch spaces apart. Take the second drawstring. And insert it through this hole. Go around in the same way. Pay attention. The holes for inserting and exiting are perfectly one space apart from the previous drawstring. This creates a staggered effect. Now both drawstrings are attached. Next, we'll crochet the small ball. Use the magic ring method to start. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. After completion, attach it to the end of the drawstring. The new stitches used are SC2-in-1 and SC2 tog. Please watch as I demonstrate the exact crocheting method. Let's start with casting on. Take out the corresponding contrasting color yarn and the appropriate hook size. I'll continue demonstrating with cotton yarn. For specifics, please refer to the detail page or the paper instructions. Pick up the yarn with your right hand and wrap it twice around your left index finger. Now there are 3 strands on your index finger. Use your right thumb and index finger to pinch where the loops overlap. Take it out. Then hang the yarn tail on your left hand. Transfer the loop to between your left hand's thumb and middle finger. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand and insert it into the loop. Put it on the left side of your yarn. Then wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Draw the yarn through. Now there is 1 loop on your hook. Continue with 1 chain stitch to secure. Everyone, take a look. This is what the adjustable magic ring looks like when it's done. Then move on to the first round. Start with 1 chain stitch to begin. Work 6 single crochets into the large space of the magic ring. Close the magic ring next. There should be 2 loops in total. Gently pull the starting tail first. One of the loops will tighten. Tighten this moving loop. Now there is only 1 loop left. Pull the yarn tail tight directly. Now the loop is tightened and secured. Join with a slip stitch into the first single crochet. That is, the second chain from the tail on the left side. Pull tight. The first round is now complete. Then move on to the second round. Chain 1 to begin. Work a SC2-in-1 into the next stitch, meaning, in this stitch, work 2 single crochets. While crocheting, also tighten the yarn tail from casting on. 1 stitch. 2 stitches. That completes one SC2-in-1. For this SC2-in-1, and all subsequent SC2-in-1, you will work 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. Then, in the stitch on the left, work 1 SC2-in-1. Insert the hook into the stitch. Crochet 2 single crochets. That completes the second SC2-in-1. The crochet pattern for this round is 2. Correspondingly, make SC2-in-1 into the stitches from the previous round. Complete this round. After finishing the last SC2-in-1, you can check the stitch count. Each stitch represents 1 stitch. Start counting from the last stitch. 1, 2, 3. There are 12 stitches in this round. Then join with a slip stitch into the first stitch. Pull tight. You can see that the texture on the right side is clearer, while the wrong side is more blurred. When crocheting, have the right side facing you. The second round is now complete. The starting tail of the yarn has been worked around once. You can cut it directly. Then move on to the third round. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Crochet 1 single crochet into the next stitch below. Then, on the left stitch, work 1 SC2-in-1. After completing, pick up the stitches respectively. Crochet 1 single crochet and 1 SC2-in-1. Now let's take a look at the crochet pattern for this round. 1 single crochet, 1 SC2-in-1. Repeat the pattern. This method is called skip 1, increase 1. Next, we follow this crochet pattern to complete this round. After completing, join with a slip stitch on the first stitch. Tighten it. The third round is now completed. Move on to the fourth round. Start with 1 chain. Crochet 1 single crochet in each stitch. After finishing, join with a slip stitch on the first stitch. Pull tight. The fourth round is done. Crocheting evenly will make the fabric naturally curl. Adjust the fabric so the right side faces out. Now, I'll show you how to count rounds when crocheting a small ball. On the right side of the fabric piece, there will be raised textures in circles, starting from the beginning chain. Count the number of rounds with this texture. That indicates how many rounds have been completed. You can see there are now 4 texture circles. This means 4 rounds have been crocheted. The crocheting method for rounds 5 to 6 is identical to round 4. All stitches correspond 1-to-1 with single crochets. The method is relatively simple. Everyone can finish them on their own. Then move on to the 7th round. Chain 1 as the beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet. Then make 1 SC2 tog. Insert the hook into the front loop of the first stitch. Then insert again into the front loop of the left stitch. There will be 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. Now there are 2 loops left. Yarn over, and draw through in once. SC2 tog completed. This method of picking up the front loops only to make a SC2 tog is called invisible decrease. When you crochet using this technique, the gaps between stitches are relatively small. The fabric overall looks more delicate. Move on to work 1 single crochet. Then make 1 SC2 tog. Insert the crochet hook through the front loops of the next 2 adjacent stitches on the left side. Yarn over, and draw through the first 2 loops on your hook sequentially. Repeat this twice. First time. Second time. SC2 tog completed. Continue working according to the pattern of 1 single crochet, 1 SC2 tog repeated. To complete this round. Join with a slip stitch when done. Pull tight. The 7th round is now completed. Cut a length of yarn next. Stuff the fabric. You can use the crochet hook to help. Once it's firmly stuffed, shape the curve by pinching it. That's how you finish stuffing. The 8th round consists of continuous SC2 tog. Start with 1 chain as the beginning chain. Work SC2 tog in sequence. Join with a slip stitch when done. Pull tight. The last round is now completed. Break the yarn next. Leave about 15 centimeters and cut the yarn. Simply pull the yarn tail through and tighten. Fasten off the yarn. Thread the sewing needle with the yarn tail. Insert one end of the drawstring into the opening of the small ball. Then pick up the front half of the last round of stitches on the small ball in sequence. Pull tight all at once. Then insert the sewing needle into an adjacent position. Pass through the drawstring at the same time. Sew back and forth a few times. Pick up a nearby loop and tie a simple knot. Then insert the sewing needle into the center of the closing point. Exit at any position. Gently pull the yarn. Then press the closing point to make it flat. The excess tail should be inside the fabric. Pass the sewing needle through a few more times. Cut off. The closing is now complete. This way, the small ball is crocheted and attached to the end of the drawstring. Continue following this method for each end of the drawstring. Crochet and attach a small ball. The method is relatively simple, so I will not repeat the demonstration. Next, sew D-rings onto both sides of the bag. I'll demonstrate using this sample swatch. Locate where the drawstring ends go in and out. Find the corresponding position on section 1 of the bag body. About 3 centimeters away from the edge of section 1. Install the D-ring here. Use the remaining cotton yarn from crocheting the bag for sewing. Here, I randomly choose the color scheme. Cut a yarn tail about 60 centimeters long. Thread it into a sewing needle. Insert from the inside of the bag body at the corresponding position and exit. Leave a section of the tail end behind. Sew from right to left. Then sew back again. After finishing, tie the beginning and ending tails with a double knot. Weave in the yarn tails by yourself. One D-ring is now sewn on. For the other D-ring, secure it using the same method. Pay attention to the positions of both D-rings. They must be symmetrical. I won't demonstrate this part here. Next, attach the strap directly to the D-ring. That concludes the explanation for installing the D-ring and strap. Now let's sew on the leather label. The D-ring sewing position is on both sides of the bag body. Choose any side as the front side of the bag body. Sew the leather label on the right lower corner of section 1's front side of the bag body. The bottom edge of the leather label should be about 3.5 centimeters away from the bag bottom. After confirming the position, use the remaining strands from sewing the D-ring to sew it on. Insert the sewing needle through one hole of the leather label from the inside out. Leave a section of tail end at the back. Insert through the other chain hole. Then sew the 2 holes on the other side. Once done, tie a double knot with the beginning and ending ends. Weave in the ends yourself. Trim off the excess. That's how you attach the leather label. Next, let's make some decorations. We'll start with a rose. Here's the finished product. Begin with a magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise outward. You will need to switch colors while crocheting. The new stitch technique used is treble crochet. Watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. The cast on and the first rounds crocheting method are the same as for the small ball. It's just that the number of stitches is different. I've already completed my sample swatch. Next, we'll crochet the second round. Start by crocheting 5 chain stitches. Then work 1 slip stitch in the front loop of the single crochet below. Then on the front loop of the adjacent stitch on the left, work 1 slip stitch. 5 chain stitches. And then in the same front loop of the stitch, work another slip stitch. Consider these 2 slip stitches and the 5 chain stitches as one group of patterns. The pattern for this round of crochet is to crochet this group of patterns in the front loop of each single crochet stitch. Let me demonstrate it again. In the front loop of the adjacent stitch on the left, work 1 slip stitch, 5 chain stitches, and 1 slip stitch. Another group of patterns is completed. Continue in this way all the way down to finish this round. After completing the last group of patterns, in the front loop of the stitch on the left, join with a slip stitch. Pull a large loop directly, leave a 5 cm tail, and fasten off the yarn. Bring the yarn tail to the wrong side of the piece. The second round is now completed. Next, we will work on the third round. Take the corresponding contrasting color yarn, make a slip knot. Keep the right side of the fabric facing you. In the back loop of that stitch on the right side of the yarn tail, join the yarn. Chain 3 as beginning chains. Work 1 double crochet in the same position. Crochet 1 treble crochet, yarn over twice first. Then insert into the back loop. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over on after another, pull the yarn through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. 1, 2, 3. That's 1 treble crochet completed. Work another treble crochet, yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over on after another, pull the yarn through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 3 times. There's another treble crochet completed. Continue by working 1 treble crochet and 1 double crochet into the same stitch. Then chain 3 as a bridge. Work 1 slip stitch into this front loop. That's 1 petal completed. I'll demonstrate it one more time. Starting from the left side. Work 1 slip stitch in the back loop of the adjacent stitch. Start with 3 chain stitches. Work 1 double crochet in the same stitch. You can work on this part and tidy up all the yarn tails as you go. 3 treble crochets. And 1 double crochet. Then chain 3. On this back loop, work 1 slip stitch. Another petal is done. Continue in the same way. On the back loops of the remaining stitches, crochet petals. After finishing the last petal, at the insertion point on the left side of the petal, work 1 slip stitch. Tighten the yarn. The 3rd round is now completed. You can trim off the excess tail directly here. The 3rd round is now completed. Move on to the 4th round. Start with 3 chain stitches. Find the treble crochet in the middle of the adjacent petal on the left side. At the base of the back side of this treble crochet, pick up these 2 strands of yarn. Work 1 slip stitch. Transition the yarn tail to this position. Chain 4 for the transition. On the middle of the left petal. At the backside root of this treble crochet, work a slip stitch. Transition with 4 chain stitches. Let's take a look at the fabric piece. Slip stitch into the base of the treble crochet on the wrong side of the middle of each petal. Between each slip stitch, connect with 4 chain stitches. Continue downward following this pattern. Finish crocheting this round. Work the last slip stitch on the final petal. Then chain 4 for the transition. On the back of the first petal. On this braid formed by the slip stitch. Work 1 more slip stitch. The 4th round is now completed. Move on to the 5th round. Start with the left chain space. Work 1 slip stitch. Transition the yarn tail to this position. Start with 3 chain stitches for turning. Work 1 double crochet in this chain space. Work 2 treble crochets. Chain 1 for transition. At this position, work 1 more double crochet. And work 1 chain stitch. Work 2 treble crochets. Work 1 double crochet. Then chain 3 for transition. Work 1 slip stitch at this position. Treat the stitches on this chain space as 1 petal. This round is about repeating the crochet of such petals. Let me demonstrate it again. First, work 1 slip stitch in the adjacent chain space on the left side. 3 beginning chains. Then work 1 double crochet in this chain space. 2 treble crochets. One chain stitch. 1 double crochet. And 1 chain stitch. Work 2 more treble crochets. And 1 double crochet. Chain 3 for transition. Then work 1 slip stitch at this position. Another petal is done. Continue following this method. Finish crocheting the remaining petals. This completes the 5th round. for the remaining rounds of the rows. The technique is similar to rounds 4 and 5. Even rounds all start with a chain of 3 as a bridge. Then, on the wrong side root of the stitch in the middle of the petals from the previous round, work slip stitches and chains. For odd rounds, crochet petals into the chain spaces from the previous round. The stitch count for each round of petals is different. The method is relatively simple. Refer to the chart and refer to the previous demonstrations. Finish crocheting the remaining petals. Take a look. This is what the rose looks like when it's completed. Continue following the same method. Crochet each rose one by one. For the exact amount, please refer to the paper instructions. I will not repeat the demonstration. Next, we will crochet the leaves. Start with a chain stitch. Follow the magic ring form a loop. The new stitches used are half double crochet and DC 2-in-1. Below, please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. First, start with a chain stitch. Hang the yarn on your left hand. Hold the crochet hook in your right hand. Position it below the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Use your left thumb and middle finger to pinch the crossing point of the loop. Put the hook on the left side of the yarn. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. This slip knot does not count as a stitch. Slightly tighten it. Then work 13 chain stitches. The beginning chain is completed. Next, we'll work the first round. Start by making one chain stitch. Begin from the second chain from the hook. Pick up the strand on the top of the chain loop. Work one single crochet stitch. Then pick the strand on the top of the adjacent chain on the left. Work one half double crochet. Yarn over, insert the hook into the braid. Draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, and draw through once. One half double crochet is complete. Continue with one stitch corresponding to one stitch. Pick up the strand on the top of the adjacent braid on the left. Crochet 7 double crochets. After completing, work one half double crochet. Yarn over, insert the hook into the left chain braid. Yarn over and draw the yarn through. Yarn over again, draw through all 3 loops on the hook. Another half double crochet is complete. Work one more half double crochet and one single crochet. Then, at the last chain stitch position, work 3 single crochets. Let's take a look at the fabric piece. The foundation chain is where we started. Now there are 2 strands of yarn remaining. Pick up the 2 strands from the adjacent chain braid. Work one single crochet. While crocheting, secure the starting yarn tail. You can see that the stitch pattern on this side is symmetrical to the other side. All worked into the same position. Continue picking up the adjacent chain stitch on the left side. Work 2 half double crochets, matching each one accordingly. Seven double crochets. One half double crochet. At this last chain stitch position, work 2 single crochets. The first round is now completed. Take the side with this stitch pattern as the right side, and consider it the front of the leaf. Move on to crochet round 2. On the first single crochet of the previous round, work 1 slip stitch. Then pick up the adjacent stitch on the left, and correspondingly make 2 single crochets. And 1 half double crochet. Then, in the left stitch, work 1 DC2-in-1, that is to say, in this stitch, make 2 double crochets. 1 stitch. 2 stitches. The DC2-in-1 is completed. Next, pick up the adjacent stitch on the left, and correspondingly make 2 double crochets. 2 half double crochets. 2 single crochets. And 2 slip stitches. Now we're at the tip of the leaf. Work 1 slip stitch in this single crochet, 1 chain stitch and 1 slip stitch. Now we're on the other side of the leaf. Refer to the chart to crochet the corresponding stitches symmetrically. Finish crocheting this side. Finally, on the single crochet at this end, work 1 slip stitch. Then make 1 chain stitch to secure. Leave a 10 cm yarn tail, and cut the yarn. The reserved yarn tail will be used for sewing. Treat the position of the yarn tail as the base of the leaf. This completes 1 leaf. Continue downward using the same method. Crochet the remaining leaves. For the exact quantity, please refer to the paper instructions. I will not repeat the demonstration. Next, sew the rows and leaves. Attach them to the corresponding positions on the bag body. Let's take a look at the finished product. On both the front and back sides of the bag, sew on 4 roses and 6 leaves each. On the same side, place the roses above section 1. Corresponding to the first 7 rounds of section 2. Adjacent roses are staggered vertically. The base of the leaves should face toward the roses. Sew them around the roses. The exact positions are not fixed. Arrange them according to your preference. Simply dot the leaves between the roses. You can first secure the sewing position of the roses temporarily. Then sew on the leaves. Finally, make sure the roses are sewn on securely. I'll demonstrate the sewing method using this small sample. The sewing positions are not for reference. Cut a segment of the remaining yarn from the leaf. Thread it into the sewing needle. Here, I'm using random color schemes. Above the corresponding position of the rose, choose a point to insert into the fabric piece. Then pick up the corresponding threads from the back of the last round of rose petals. Sew them together. Be mindful not to sew through to the front side of the petals. Sew a few more times at this position to secure it. Then tie the beginning and ending yarn tails with a double knot. Hide the yarn tail. Use the same method to hide the other yarn tail. This way, the rose is fixed in its corresponding position. Follow this method for the remaining roses. Secure it in the corresponding position. The method is relatively simple. I won't demonstrate it. Next, according to the fixed position of the rose, sew the leaves. Thread the reserved yarn tail of the leaf into a sewing needle. Insert it into the corresponding position on the bag body. Be sure the front side of the leaf is facing up. Then choose a few points to sew and secure. After sewing securely, tie a double knot. Weave in the ends. One leaf is now attached. Continue with this method. To sew the remaining leaves, I will not repeat the demonstration, after all the leaves are sewn. Next, securely sew the rose. Similarly, use the remaining yarn tails from crocheting the leaves on the back of the rose petals. Choose a few points and sew securely. If the leaf is perfectly below the rose, on the corresponding position of the leaf, select a few points and secure it as well. Follow this method to continue. And attach the rose to the corresponding position on the bag body. The specific number of securing points is not fixed. Just make sure the rose is sewn securely. This way, the entire rose is now fully secured. Everyone can follow the same method and secure the remaining roses accordingly. Up to this point, the crochet method for this flower basket bag has been fully explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.